Hey, what's up guys? KingSunnyD here, and welcome to Hitman World of Assassination. One of my favorite games that I played in 2024. Very different from a lot of the platformers I've been uploading, but still fun nevertheless. We're going to be looking at the Freelancer mode. This is a roguelike mode for this game, for Hitman here. And so we're going to go ahead and see what this is all about. I'll just let the narration here play.
Well done, 47. You can now redesign your home a bit to make it more you.
Okay, so in Freelancer mode, we start off in our safe house, right? So in the safe house, we're kind of in this basement area. We can see this is a base of operations. Have all sorts of weapons on the walls and like all sorts of terminals and everything like that. I'm just gonna walk right in front of me to go to our state selection, our syndicate selection. So what this does here, you get to choose, for this run of the campaign, for the start of the campaign here, do you want to have, all these different optional objectives, and what maps do you want to play on? Right, this randomizes what maps you may get from the main game and what the optional objectives may be, within a certain list. So espionage is going to be all sorts of like spy stuff, like don't blow your disguise, suit only, don't get spotted, no firearms, or you could be in something else like this, Big Pharma, which is all about poisons, right? Poison a guard, poison your target, poison kill, all that sort of stuff. I like this right here, so we're going to choose that. And so with this, we get these three different maps, right? New York, Paris, and Dubai. All right, so I usually like to look at, what are the maps here? What are the objectives that are tied to those? And I like to come over here to this terminal and see what are my prestige objectives that I can pick between. And I like to make sure that I have a good combination that I feel I could knock out everything. So we're going to start out here with Dubai. That's going to be a good start here. Poison target, dart gun, perfect shooter, and don't blow your disguise. And then, I am thinking for the prestige, we're probably going to do melee, kill, epic. So I can go to this weapon wall right here, and I can get these melee weapons that are considered epic tier. Okay, you have different tiers for the different weapons that you have. If I go over to this crate and open it, we're going to see that this crate right now is empty. That is because when I walk over here to these briefcases, I actually have every tool that you can get in this mode already. So that crate would give me a tool that I would be missing, but I already have them all. I'm going to get both of these dart guns. As we see, one of the objectives says poison target dart gun. So I have two different dart guns, one that's going to be a sedative and one that's going to be a medic. I chose the melee kill epic prestige objective, and so like the batarang thing and that fiber wire that I picked up, that's going to help for those. Perfect shooter, that of course means that any weapon where I would be shooting, it either has to hit a body or it has to hit a camera or the camera recorder. It cannot hit anything else. I cannot hit a wall, I cannot miss a shot, anything like that. And then don't blow your disguise, that's a little bit obvious. But we'll see the disguise system later. Basically, don't want to be seen doing anything illegal. So I can go ahead and explore the rest of the house. I did pick up a silenced pistol there. It's always good to have a silenced pistol. It is your omni tool in this game. I did forget something, so I'm actually walking back down because for every time that I play on a map, if I have it available, I usually like to get some sort of thing that will help me open doors. So I can get a lockpick and I can get that key card hacker sort of thing. And that's going to help for this map. I have played on these maps quite a bit, so I do have a bit of map knowledge. And so just want to get one more tool here. We can see on the top left above the objectives, there's gear capacity. This is your weight limit, right? You can only bring so many things over to a stage. Every weapon has a certain weight to it. So, this wrench that I just picked up, that fills in the last two, right? 14 out of 14. It was 12 out of 14. Now it's 14 out of 14. And you know, it's a little dark in here. I can light it up like that. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get straight to the mission. So let's go ahead and do it.
Touch when you reach your destination.
Going to Dubai.
Welcome to the Scepter, Dubai. We have been informed that the Syndicate is currently in operation here. Find the target and eliminate. Good luck, 47.
All right, so we are on the stage. I'm just looking at the map a little bit just to see where my target is. I see they're on the 4th floor. I'm on the 2nd floor. So we're going to see how I can get over there. So again, I played this map a bit. I know some shortcuts here. So very first thing, I'm going to use this shortcut, climb around the railing here to get onto the side so that I'm now in a restricted area. So this area, I'm considered trespassing, which means I'm going to do a few things to try to help me stay stealthy. This is a stealth game. I don't want to be seen because that is going to be bad news. Unlike something like Metal Gear, it is not like full stealth of like everything military stealth where, you know, everyone is going to be aggressive. This is social stealth where there are going to be different types of NPCs, some that are civilians, sometimes that are guards, and different ways that you can go around that. I took out that camera a little bit earlier. Luckily, this is not a game where like if you take out the camera, someone comes in right away. Usually just someone will hear the noise and be like, hey, what was that noise? And then they don't really do anything else. Since I am trespassing, we'll see all these white dots on everyone. That just means that like that person, if they were to like fully see you, they would see you as suspicious, and you know, different things could happen from there. And then of course that's just because I am trespassing right now. We may see white dots in other places, and so we'll talk about that when that comes up. But luckily I can climb up that pipe and climb up this ladder to get closer to my target. On the bottom left on the mini map, I can see I am close to the target. You know, they're a filled in red square. And if I go in this door, I can kind of see where they are, but you know, that's still a dangerous territory to be in. And that guy saw me. So I just got caught trespassing. However, this is not the end of the world. He's going to go and run and tell a guard, right? I'm caught trespassing. It's not the most illegal thing in the world. He's a civilian. He's going to tell a guard like, hey, I just saw a suspicious person. Since he walked out of the room, I can walk out of the room somewhere else, and you know, they're not going to magically know where I am, right? They're going to go to the spot where they saw me. They don't see where I am, and so I'm still staying stealthy even though I did get caught trespassing. The good thing is, since he brought over a guard, this gives me an opportunity. So that civilian, I'm going to go ahead and put him to sleep. He looks a little tired, so I'm going to put him to sleep with that dart gun, the tranquilizer there. And I'm going to knock out this guard because I need something from him. So I'm going to throw that in. Ooh, he fell through the door. That's kind of bad, but luckily no one saw it. So I'm going to just drag his body over here so that no one does see him. And now that the guard's here, I get to use his disguise. Right? So this is social stealth here. It's all about making sure that you can blend in plain sight. So I have the security guard disguise. This now means I'm no longer trespassing because the security guards are allowed here. And I'm allowed to carry a weapon. That guy, he still has a white dot over his head. You know, everyone else doesn't, but he does. That's because he's an enforcer. That means that he can see through your disguise. He knows you don't belong here, so you still don't want him looking because he will be suspicious, and there's nothing I can really do. And I'm just checking all around me because this is my target right here that's in red. And I want to go ahead and get her. One of my objectives is to poison the target with the dart gun. Even though I can carry a weapon, shooting a weapon still illegal. So I just want to make sure no one can see this. And I'm going to shoot her with a dart gun. Ooh, that was close. If that was half a second later, she would have just saw me shooting her and it would have been pretty bad. But luckily she didn't see that. So I shot her with the dart gun here in a medic dart gun. So a medic dart guns, this will make someone sick, right? The earlier dart gun that I used was a tranquilizer that made someone fall asleep on the spot. This one will make someone sick. The sick people will go to the nearest bathroom or trash can, luckily bathroom this time here. And since bathrooms are isolated, I can go ahead and take out my target in Hitman. That's always the hard thing about this.
Syndicate
You know,
member eliminated.
you are playing Hitman, World of Assassination. You know, you're not playing a good guy. You are killing people. Now you may be like, huh, why are you killing that random lady that was just cleaning a window? What did she do? In the main game, your targets are usually like these high profile rich people that are doing like these high profile crimes, like they're selling government secrets on the black market, or they're creating some biological disease that can take out, you know, a population and cause a pandemic and stuff like that. In this mode, freelancer here, the justification is that these different syndicates that you're trying to take down, they're recruiting random people that are doing all these crimes on the black market and all this sort of stuff, like human trafficking or eco crimes or whatever happens. And they can recruit anyone, so anyone can be part of the syndicate. And so, you know, that's how they're really just justifying having random people. But anyway, mission completed there, right? So my disguise was not blown, right? I didn't get caught doing anything super illegal in a disguise. Perfect shooter, because I didn't even shoot a gun. Well, no, I did shoot a gun, but it hit my target. And then, you know, I took them out with the melee weapon, and I used the dart gun. So yeah, we got this level up screen here. I'll talk about that a little bit more later on the next mission. But that's the first mission done. Easy peasy.
Excellent work back there, 47. Let me know when you're ready to continue. I'll be waiting.
All right, so it's time for the second mission, right? We're done the first one. It's time to go on to the second. Usually at the beginning, I do like to go ahead and just empty my pockets so that I can just start over again and pick what's going to be best for the mission. I wish I could just do that automatically, but you know, some people like to carry the same stuff, right? So I have all these weapons here, right? You do not start out with all these weapons. This is a roguelike, so usually you would start out with nothing. But I played this enough that I've unlocked everything. That one wall was empty just because that's the DLC weapons. Those don't matter. But I have everything. I have all the weapons on the wall, and I had those tools in the back. So that gives me the opportunity to prestige. Prestiging, if you've ever played Call of Duty, that would allow you to, you know, all the unlocks that you have, you get rid of all your unlocks and you start over, but usually you can gain in other stuff. So in this case here, I would get rid of all my weapons, freelancer gear, and money, merces there. And that will allow me, anytime that I choose an objective, I will get more money from those objectives. There's not any strategic reason necessarily to do this, right? Because you have everything. There's not really any point in the money. But the fun of freelancer is kind of being able to get all these weapons and everything like that. So I just want to start over, right? And this is my first time prestiging, so we're going to see how this goes. But I want to show the experience of like what this looks like when you're starting from the beginning. Kind of. Since this is a roguelike, there are permanent unlocks that I have done. So there are going to be some things that I can still do a lot easier than you can from your first time. But we're still going to see kind of what this is like. I'm going to go ahead and do Paris as the second stage here. And I'm going to go ahead and do Silent Assassin. Silent Assassin in this game. Silent Assassin is basically perfect stealth as far as this game is concerned. So that basically means you want to take out only your target, and you want to do it as stealthily as possible. You never want to be seen by anyone, and the target needs to be taken out in a way that no one thinks that they're being specifically targeted, right? No one thinks that they're coming after them as an assassin. So now it's prep time, right? So from that gear box, because I still beat a stage, since I have no tools, no gear, I was able to pick gear out of that. And so I picked the lethal pills. That's going to help us maintain Silent Assassin. I went out here into my backyard and I picked up an emetic poison mushroom. That can also help us with maintaining Silent Assassin. There's a knife on this shed. So I'm going to pick up this knife. That's just good to have like some sort of lethal melee weapon. It's also can be quiet in some sort of circumstances. I'm going to pick up this banana. Bananas are really good in this game. Non-lethal melee, but it can be very helpful and in some ways can be good for maintaining Silent Assassin. Pick up the wrench. Again, wrench can be useful. We saw that in the last map. I was able to take out a guard, knock him out, non-lethally, of course, and so I can use that there. I can use it as a distraction. We will see what happens. I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to go into my medical bay, my infirmary sort of thing. Pick up the stethoscope. The stethoscope works as a fiber wire, right? I brought that in the last map, but didn't really use it. But that can help as a firewire kill. That's usually pretty silent. And then I can come over here and with either my lethal pills or the emetic mushroom, I can turn this into a poison syringe. So I use the mushroom here and now I have an emetic syringe. Emetic, just as a reminder, as we saw in the last map, that will make someone sick and make them go to a toilet. And usually that's pretty isolated. So that can help me maintain Silent Assassin. I also still had the lethal pills, so that's going to help as well. I could have turned that into a lethal syringe. Lethal poison, of course, is poison that kills someone. So we may see how that can be useful as well. Then we have the objectives for do not get spotted. So, do not let anyone see you trespassing. Do not let someone think that you're suspicious. Doors stay locked. I cannot unlock any doors that are locked, right? Any doors that are already unlocked, I can use those, but any doors that are locked, I have to leave them as is, right? Luckily, since I prestiged, all of my gear and weapons are gone, so I don't even have a lockpick that I can use. I use only one disguise, so I can either use the disguise that I have right now, or, the outfit that I'm coming with, or I can change to one disguise. Any more than that, then I don't get that objective. And in Silent Assassin, I've already explained. So, time to start the mission. Let's get it.
Welcome to Paris.
Fuck!
Syndicate members are currently in the area.
Okay, this is not the best spawn to start at for maintaining Silent Assassin, but it's still possible. So, again, this is a roguelike mode. You start off in random locations. There are different parts where you can start in a map. And so I just started in a place that is already in guard territory. I'm already considered trespassing. So that's definitely a little bit harder, but again, not impossible. I just got to make sure a guard does not see me over here. Yeah, not the greatest spawn in the world, but again, not impossible. Looking at my map just to see where my targets are. I see one's on the second floor, one's on the third floor. Again, I've played on this map quite a bit, so I kind of know where to go. This is actually the first map in the first Hitman. Hitman World of Assassination is a collection of the Hitman games, the Hitman trilogy, the Hitman reboot trilogy here. So there are 3 games in one here, and this freelancer mode actually randomizes maps from all 3 games. It's great. I can still pick up items that are just on the map naturally here. So I tried throwing that to try to make a distraction noise because I thought there was a guard that was nearby, but there's not, or at least not one I can hear. And those guys almost saw me. See, again, this spawn kind of sucks. But luckily they didn't see me fully, and I can sneak around here and get in here. There's a crate here. So in this freelancer mode, there will be sometimes random crates that are here that allows you to pick up some items. These items that they had here really are only going to be helpful just within this map, and then they disappear when I beat this map or lose in this map. I picked up a propane flask. This could also help me maintain Silent Assassin depending on how I use it. But the path that I want to go, I do want to climb up this pipe, so I can't climb with that. So I'm just going to put it down. I know where it is if I do need to get it later on. But I'm just going to be going up to the second floor to get my first target here. And he is at this little party. I mean, well, this whole thing's a party, but he's at this bar area. And so there's some opportunities I got here. again, with this being the first map in the first game, me coming from the railing is, you know, people get question marks over their head, but they don't think it's any more suspicious than that. So luckily, I still have Silent Assassin. On that earlier map, if someone saw me climbing, that would have been really bad. That would have lost me Silent Assassin. But luckily, it doesn't. And right now, my target, the one that's in red, he's drinking from that, which means I can do a poison. I can poison him. So to do that, I'm going to take out this waiter here, you know, put him to sleep, give him a big hug and put him to sleep. He looked a little tired as well. One of the other weird quirks of this first map is that that window is open, but it's not open, right? Even though it visually looks like it's open, people actually cannot see through that window. Other maps, that's not the case. You know, they would have saw me dragging the body and that would have been an illegal act and I would have lost Silent Assassin. But luckily, it's not the case for this first map. There are a few quirks with this map, but you learn them and you can use them to your advantage like this. Another thing to keep in mind, if you change your disguise in front of someone, that is also considered an illegal action. So don't do that. But again, luckily no one can see through that window. Now I'm a waiter. So since I'm a waiter, I can tamper with people's drinks and that's not seen as an illegal action because, you know, I'm a waiter. I'm going to be going to people's drinks. You know, I'm just fulfilling their drinks or making it a little bit spicy. It's fine. Don't mind the red smoke that's coming out of there. So yeah, I poisoned his drink with lethal pills. And so now I'm going to be going to my second target and oh, that guy's already dead.
Excellent work, 47.
Now you maybe be like, hey, earlier you mentioned like people can't be seen as like dying in front of them if you're trying to maintain Silent Assassin. Well, there are a few ways that you can can kill someone and it still maintains Silent Assassin. One of those is a poison kill, because they can't trace a poison kill to you if, you know, you weren't seen, you know, poisoning someone's drink. And as a waiter, you're not really seen as poisoning someone's drink. It, you know, it's something that is just seen as a normal action. So, him drinking a poison drink, they can't tie that to me at all, right? Because, you know, he could have just had a heart attack at the same time he just happened to drink. No one's really going to know how he really died until, you know, there's an autopsy report. But, you know, you don't have to worry about that. No coroners while you're in a stage. That's way after. So, still Silent Assassin here. Anyway, we're coming to my next target. Remember, I still have to use only one disguise. So, I still have to stay the waiter here. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this guy with what I got now. There are a few guards here, so I don't want his body to be seen, because I can't do the lethal poison thing again. However, I can hit him with a medic syringe. Just like the last map, a medic poison is going to make the person sick and make them have to go to the bathroom. So in this area, I actually don't know where he might go, like what the closest bathroom is if he's sick, or a trash can if, you know, I'm unlucky here. So I'm actually going to have to follow him because I don't know where he's going to go. But yeah, this kind of ends up working out. Again, you know, as long as no one sees me stick him with the syringe, we're good. If someone saw me stick him with the syringe, that's an illegal action. I would have lost Silent Assassin for that. And, you know, don't get spotted as well. Don't get spotted and Silent Assassin kind of work well because you already don't want to get spotted if you're trying to maintain Silent Assassin.
Hey, you stoned or what? Either you leave or you do your business. You can't goof around like you're at Woodstock or something.
Yeah, that voice line, I wasn't too sure if I could really walk past him, so I went around. But yeah, now I know where this guy is going. I know where the bathroom is.
Anything dangerous.
If you're in a civilian disguise, there are certain areas where you may get frisked, right? So you need to like not carry anything that's illegal. If I carried a gun, I would not be able to get frisked because that's clearly an illegal item. But luckily, I don't have any illegal items on me, so I can get frisked and things are fine. And now I'm able to walk past him and I can drown this guy. Drowning is another kill that you can do that still maintains Silent Assassin. So I'm just going to leave his body here. I could have put him in that closet, but I'm going to just leave his body here. Because if someone sees his body,
Return to the safe.
he just drowned, right? That could have happened any sort of way, right? He could have just been super drunk and was like, I'm going to go in the toilet and then drown himself by accident. You know, can't tie that to me. It's not a violent action, right? He doesn't have a bullet in his head. If I were to shoot him, if he had a bullet in his head, you know, that would be seen as a violent thing. That would lose Silent Assassin. But this one doesn't. And so yet another easy peasy mission. I'm making this look easy. This is certainly not easy at all. Trust me, you are going to lose the first time. I have a lot of hours in this mode. That's why I'm kind of breezing through this, even after Prestige. So yeah, when you beat a mission here, you get to a result screen. You get to see all the achievements that you have in this mode. As you see, I have quite a bit. There's the Prestige one right there. And then these are all the objectives that I did, right? So I got all of them done. And then this level up screen, the 317 that you see up there, that's just for overall Hitman, like how much you played. And then 75 out of 100, that's for this mode specifically. And you get different unlocks from that.
Back there. The Syndicate took a serious blow, but there is still much work to get done. Recuperate and prepare for your next assignment.
All right, so now it's time for the final stage of this section of the campaign. So as you kind of see on the board here, there are 4 sections here. And so there are 2 regular stages, and now we're at a boss stage called a Showdown.
I've provided you with new intel.
So leader located, right? So if I go to this board over here, well, let me pick a tool first. Let me pick some gear here. I'm going to pick Silent Assassin again. I think that's going to help for what I want to go ahead and do. And I got the sedative poison. That could be helpful, but not really what I'm going to be trying to do. But yeah, as we see on this board here, the leader is going to have these certain tells. They're going to have a secret meeting, sweet tooth, foodie, and they're going to have a certain look. They have glasses, a hat, brown hair, and stuff. Anyway, we're doing prep, so I'm just going to be picking up a few different items. We saw what this looks like already, so I'm just going to be jumping around to pick up different things like the banana, the grape knife, the wrench. I'm going to get the stethoscope. I'm going to turn this mushroom that I picked up earlier. If I put it in this machine, it turns into lethal poison here. Because as we saw in the last map, lethal poison can help you maintain Silent Assassin. So I'm going to pick that up here. And then I'm going to turn this lethal poison into a lethal syringe. Because that's going to help me out a little bit more. I think there's usually just a lot more opportunities for me to like walk up to someone and do that. And I'm going to pick up this coin. Right, so we got perfect shooter again, do not blow your disguise again, fiber wire kill, and silent assassin again. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Let's get into
I'll be
it.
in touch when you reach your destination. Welcome to New York. We did it. We have managed to locate the leader. However, their identity is unknown. So to assist you, I have some intel that might help you on your mission. To help you, we have the following information. They are attending a covert meeting. We also have the following description on their looks. We know that they have brown hair. They are wearing earrings. They are wearing glasses. And wearing a hat. As for characteristics, we know the target has a sweet tooth. And they see themselves as a foodie. I hope these tells can be used to your advantage. Be careful, 47. And most of all, good luck.
Okay. Glad that she explained all that. I will explain what all that actually means here, but I'm going to be showing off something here for freelancer mode, right? So we saw the crate in the last mission. Another thing for freelancer here are these shops. So I was doing all those objectives to get money, and money in this game, merces, what they're called. You spend your merces at shops. So there's always a shop person in the map. I haven't gone to in those other 2 maps, but in this one I have, especially going to be useful since I prestige. And so I'm able to buy weapons and gear from him. Anyway, I'm coming down here We're going to be doing some optional stuff. I'm not doing Showdown stuff quite yet. I'm just kind of setting myself up for, you know, me to be able to move around this map a lot easier. So hitting the switch in this office here is going to get a high security guard over here. And so I'm distracting him, getting him to come to this location, and I'm going to hide in this box for a little bit. We're going to be cutting around in this stage too, just because things are going to take a little bit long. So you may see the time jump around a little bit, but you're not going to be missing anything here of importance. But anyway, he gets distracted here. I can now give him a hug and make him go to sleep because he also looks a little tired. Drag his body into this box here. And then I, of course, can take his disguise so that now I'm a security guard now, which will allow me to move a lot freer in this map. I can take his gun as well. That will help me for my weapon wall. So good to take his gun and stuff like that. There is a camera here. Again, I'm trying to maintain silent assassin, so I don't want to be seen by cameras. So I can go ahead and take this camera out by throwing an object at it. Luckily, again, no one comes to this camera here. That guy is a little bit suspicious that he heard a noise. I don't really know how he heard that, but whatever. But he doesn't really come to it, and things are all fine. So yeah, I didn't want to go into that office because I want to take out the cameras in this map here. I haven't done that before, but there is a way that you can take out the cameras from seeing you at all cameras on the map. But I do need to take out this camera specifically here so that I don't get seen by that. So again, going to throw something at it, destroys that. No one comes over here. We're still good. Now, again, these are optional objectives, so that does mean I can still do this even if I don't do the objectives. But, you know, I like to play with doing the optional objectives because it makes for a lot of interesting puzzles here. Yet again, I'm going to take out this camera because I'm going to be trying to knock out these guards here. Even if I lose Silent Assassin, I still want this to be easy on me. So I want to take out these guards because this is a potential exit I want to take. And if things do go south, I want to make sure that there are not as many security guards that may be coming after me. So I'm going to go ahead and distract this guard a little bit by throwing something over there. It makes a noise. He is going to go ahead and investigate that distraction there.
Okay, understood.
So he walks over there. He leaves this guy open. So I can go ahead and knock this guy out and then throw that and knock that guy out. And then with both of these guys knocked out, I'll just go ahead and drag them to a bin the same way I did for that other guard before. Right, and so right over here, I'm basically kind of showing how you can clear out this area of the map because this will actually help you for other things that you can do on this map that I won't necessarily be showing over here. But again, this is kind of a strategy to kind of help you make New York a lot simpler. Because again, this mode is pretty hard. I know things are going very smoothly for me in this recording here. But it is very hard. I actually recorded this last year. I recorded this in 2024 and only now recording the voiceover now in 2025. But, you know, all 2024, it took me a while to get to this point to be able to do this, maintaining stealth, maintaining silent assassin and stuff like that. Anyway, I can hit this panel right here, which will turn off the AC. And, you know, they will think that's a weird, suspicious thing. Like, how did the AC just randomly turn off? And so someone will come over here and he'll be distracted. Now, if you do a distraction like that, they will get a white dot over their head because, you know, you're messing around with their stuff. So they will be actually suspicious of that if they see you. But luckily, I hid behind the door and things are okay. Knock him out, put him in a bed. And also take his gun just so that, you know, anyone else that comes over here, they're not like, hey, why is there a gun on the floor? And it changes their whole path, even though you can use that to your advantage. Coming in here, I can actually unlock this and it gives me a chloroform flask. Now, I'm not going to be doing it on here, but there are actual ways that you can use this chloroform chloroform flask. That's hard to say. And use it to knock out all the guards here all at once, using the AC as well. I'm not going to be doing that because there's kind of weirdness with if people are seen, if people who are not the target, or actually even the target too, if they're being seen as getting sedated unnaturally, then that can make you lose Silent Assassin. I almost lost it there. That guy almost saw me because I forgot he was going to have the white dot over his head. But luckily, I guess he didn't fully see me, so I'm okay. Knock him out. Let's bring him to a bin. I'm bringing them over to these different bins here because you can only fit 2 bodies in a bin or closet here. That's including yourself as well. So, you know, if I did need to hide in here, I can only hide in there if there's 0 or 1 bodies. If there's 2 bodies, I cannot get in there. Or, you know, I can only hide up to 2 bodies in there. And so I just kind of want to keep my options open, just in case, because I don't want to have it all filled out. But there is one more guard I do want to get. And again, I want to get him easily. For my playstyle, I usually like to have people walk over as close to a bin as possible. Because, like, you know, he's isolated there. I could have just knocked him out there and dragged his body. But dragging bodies is really slow. And it's a highly illegal action if someone were to see me. So I want to get them as close to a bin as possible on their own, and then knock them out near there, just so I don't have to drag as much. So I don't have to move as slow and less chance for me being seen as doing a highly illegal action. But yeah, so now this bin is full. I cannot get in there. I cannot put another body in there. But luckily, we have everything pretty much filled out. I'll go ahead and take his gun. He has a big gun, and so I can't easily hide that. But, you know, I am a security guard here. I am allowed to carry weapons, so I'll just have that on my back. That computer that I was just tapping at, that is for the security cams. So tampering with that will now knock out all the cameras in the map. It doesn't always make sense that it knocks out all the cameras in the map when it's isolated to one area, but, you know, it's a video game. It's fine. Since I do have the key there, I can actually unlock quite a bit of stuff. In that security room that I was in earlier, there are ways that you can rob the bank using that. I'm not going to be doing that in this playthrough here. But, you know, if you need to get extra money, you can do that here. You can also go to all these lockers that are here, all these security lockers, and you can unlock them with the key that I got earlier as well. And that will also give you some money or items here. I believe there was also a chloroform flask there, so there was a second one I was able to get. I think one of these lockers is for like a story thing in the actual main campaign. Again, this one I believe gives you some money, gives you some merces, so that could be helpful for me to buy stuff in the shop. This one has lethal pills in it, so if I didn't have my own lethal poison, I could also get it from this stage. And actually, remember, I actually have a lethal syringe, so now I actually have 2 different methods I can do. I can come in here. This also has mercies. So again, New York is great if you need to get extra money, because you can rob the bank and get money that way. You can go through these lockers and get money that way. And then of course, just doing your objectives normally. Come into this last locker. And this has the chloroform flask. So there are 2 chloroform flasks that are just naturally in this level. This does count as a freelancer gear, freelancer tool. So I can actually bring this back to base as opposed to some of the other items where I would not be able to bring that back to base. But this I can actually bring back to base. Or I can use it in this stage. It counts as sedative poison, so it will make someone fall asleep on the spot, the same way that the tranquilizer did on the first level. So I'm just going to run back to the shop. See, now that I have like some extra money that I got, I'm wanting to see if there's anything of use for me to get at the shop here.
Yes.
There is the oil canister there, water canister, excuse me. So I could get that, but I would have to carry that the entire time, so I'm not going to worry about that now. And there's that lady that has that green marker over her, right? She is a courier. So she's also totally a bad person that's carrying out dark money. She's carrying merces around her. Merces are like black market money, currency stuff there. Of course, I'm using it because, you know, I'm an assassin, right? I'm not a good guy. But she shouldn't be carrying it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and rob her of her money because I could use that money to buy stuff at the shop to take out all my targets and stuff like that. Now, Silent Assassin. One of the things that I lightly mentioned, when you're doing Silent Assassin, you can only kill your targets. You cannot kill anyone else. So I would have to knock her out. Again, I need to do it stealthily that no one else notices. So knock her out there. And luckily she's right next to a closet. I can go ahead and put her in there. Couriers are definitely extra challenges, extra people added to maps that are not usually there. Sometimes they can mess you up because, you know, since they're not usually there, there may be a target that you try to take out normally and be surprised that there's actually a courier that comes in that path. Luckily, she's kind of in an isolated place, an easy place, so I was able to knock her out, and no issue there. Come to this crate, you know, like we saw before. This one does have an item I can get. So I got the oil canister here. Apologies for the cut there. My recording actually messed up a little bit, so I had to pause for a little bit and then start over again, or not start over, but just cut a few seconds. But you didn't miss anything. I just got the oil canister. And like I said, now I have to carry this thing. So that's a little annoying, but not too bad. Now we can finally do the showdown part. Thank you for sticking with me on this. 12 minutes in, almost 13 minutes. So unlike the other stages, your target is not 100% clear. There are multiple suspects that you have to figure out who the actual target is. There's, in this stage right here, there's 3 fake suspects and 1 real target. So all of them are marked purple. You use your camera to see like who's doing the tells that you need, right? So all those tells that the lady was saying at the beginning, the narrator, Diana, that's her name.
Sir, yeah, I think that belongs to you.
That guy's saying that belongs to me because I dropped the oil canister when I brought out my camera. But yeah, I can use my camera to see like what tells do they have, like, you know, is this person going to a secret meeting? Are they a foodie, right? She just walked up to some food and she's eating. You can see the symbol over there, right? So foodies, that's one of the tells there. You know, she's going to eat food. That's one of the signs that this is my target. She has some of the physical features, right? She has a hat, she has brown hair, glasses, and I forget what the other one is, but
what I like to see.
She has all those tells. So I'm going to mark her as a prime suspect because she has like almost everything that I need to see from my target. So so she's the prime there. You know, there were 2 other people that I saw earlier. I wasn't close enough to really see what they have, so I can't tell. I'm kind of looking at this area. Since she hangs around this area, I'm trying to see opportunities. She does have the food, right? She is foodie, so I could poison her food. However, unlike the other map, she does not, there's not really a waiter disguise. So I can't easily just poison the food because that's going to be seen as an illegal action. There she goes. She's doing the other tell right now. She's eating candy. She's a sweet tooth. So yeah, this person very much looks like she's my target. You'll notice that in this instinct mode, there's a person with like a thicker outline around them. This person that's basically following the target is an assassin, right? So on these showdown stages, there are extra people added to it. Assassins are people who look like they're regular civilians, but they're actually guards. And not only are they guards, they can take you out in like 2 shots, right? He's carrying a pistol with him. He's an assassin. So like if I were to aggravate him, if I aggro him, he will take me down in 2 shots. He is very dangerous. Guards usually take a little bit more shots, but he can take me out in 2. So I don't want to aggro him at all. Luckily, he's not seen as an enforcer. So usually there's not a lot that would aggro him right away outside of just doing an illegal action right in front of him or trying to harm his target. She's standing in this puddle, so there is also a different opportunity I could do. here. I could electrify the puddle, and that would also still maintain Silent Assassin. But that janitor, he also walks into the puddle. So that would accidentally probably kill him as well. And remember, if you kill someone else, that loses Silent Assassin. I tried to distract to bring the assassin here, but unfortunately he didn't hear it. So that's not really going to work. So yeah, this is a little bit of a puzzle, right? This is what makes the game interesting. This is going to make it a little bit slow, but this is what makes the game interesting. Right now, there are two people having a meeting right now.
Okay.
They're having a secret meeting.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
So I can go ahead and see what these people have and see if they are my target. That one person does not have a hat, so she's not my target, right? So I can go ahead and take her out of the running. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, see, no hat, so she's out. The other person here, let's look at her. She's eating, so it could be her. Well, don't throw that. That would be illegal. She's drinking. My target is a foodie and a sweet tooth, right? So they can only have those two tells. Since this person is drinking, she cannot be the target. It is impossible for her to be the target because she drinks. So I can go ahead and take her out. There's one more other suspect I haven't looked at. And it looks like it's going to be a while before this person comes. So I might just go ahead and look at the other target just to kind of knock that out a little bit. But yeah, you don't want to take out the other suspects because that will lose you 1,000 merces, right? You will lose 1,000 of your money there. Not a big deal, but of course, you know, that's some sort of punishment for taking out the wrong person, right? So I'm not going to touch her. In Hitman. Got to another crate. Again, some items that could help me out here. Probably not going to use that, but, you know, could help for a distraction. Coming over here just so I can see my other suspect, just to verify if this is my subject or not. This person is nervous. This person has a lot of anxiety. That's what that thing is. That is not one of the tells. Not a sweet tooth. Not a foodie. So I can go ahead and knock him out. And that's 3 out of 4 suspects that I know are not the target. So the person that I did prime is absolutely the target. I almost got Saul there, but luckily I didn't. Oh, and we got a medic poison that's right here, just naturally in the stage. So I could use this as well on that lady's food. But again, I don't have a waiter's disguise that I can use. And there are just so many people in that area. It's going to be too risky to really poison the food. I could do it now. So right now she's up here because she's going to a meeting, right? That's one of the tells, right? What sort of meeting do they go to? On this first stage, they all have the same type of meeting, but on the other boss stages, there may be other types of meetings, right? But everyone does a secret meeting here, so I can't really use that. Other than if I were to knock her out, knock any one of these suspects out, they will have a phone on them, and I could take that phone and place the phone down to force other people from that meeting to come to that area, and I can isolate them that way. Anyway, she just had her meeting. I'm bumping into her on purpose just so I can slow her down and possibly try to isolate her. So I'm going to bump into her a few times just to stop her from walking. Because again, I just want to try to isolate her, see if like that can create an opportunity here. Because she is in a slightly public area and that other person kind of walked in the same direction. So I'm trying to get that other person to continue walking. And she's still over there because she's so busy drinking. Like, I can't believe she's drinking all this water, staying hydrated. It's so annoying. So again, just trying to bump into her a little bit. Like maybe I can isolate her in this corner here, but she already walked out the door. So I don't think I'm really going to be able to get her. This other person staying at the balcony. Again, she's just being annoying. So not going to help with that. But the assassin that's following her, I could throw that, make a distraction noise. The assassin is going to try to investigate that because the assassin is seen as a guard, right? If the other lady saw that, she would probably get any other guard to check it first. It's kind of hard for the suspects to check for a noise.
Could you be any more annoying?
But he's isolated. Knock him out. Right? I can knock him out. Just can't kill him. But I can knock him out. Put him in this closet that's right here. And the assassin is down. With the assassin down, I actually take his silenced pistol. So that's an easy way to get a silenced pistol. Right? Because a silenced pistol is very helpful in freelancer mode. Right? Because you could shoot cameras down. You can take out targets. It's a silenced gun, so it's not going to make a loud noise. The unsilenced guns, they make a loud noise and they will get everyone on your location real quick. But silenced ones, those are a lot quieter as long as you're not like shooting right next to someone, basically. All right, so she has no assassin following her anymore. I know she's going to hang out in this area until she goes into a meeting. Again, I'm just kind of looking around to see, like, is there any sort of opportunity I can try to get her that's not going to make me lose Silent Assassin, right? And I still kind of want to get that fiber wire kill, and then so that's kind of what's making it harder too. As we see, there's this car battery here, so like I was talking about earlier, I could electrify the puddle so that when she steps in the puddle, it electrifies her. And that still maintains Silent Assassin because that's seen as an that's seen as an accident kill, right? Like, oh, you know, she just happened to step in electrified water. Like, you know, you can't tie that to me. You know, she just happened to step in the wrong place. But again, that janitor there, he also walks into the puddle. And so I don't want to accidentally electrocute him. Also, something that I need to verify, I think if you throw a car battery, it's seen as an illegal action. So if someone sees me throw a car battery, that can make me lose Silent Assassin because that's seen as illegal. I have to see that because like I got caught with that in a different map that I played around before. And so I don't know if like that was illegal for me just doing that or if I was just like in a bad area and it was just like bad timing. I don't know. So I have to play around with that, but I'm not going to test that here because, again, I want to maintain Silent Assassin. So I'm going to do the classic stealth thing, which is just waiting for my target to be in a place where I want them to be and knock them out that way, kill them that way in Hitman. Yeah, so I'm just going to have to wait here. Luckily, we're not going to wait here. We do have the power of editing, so I'm just going to cut to the time when she gets where I need to be. So as we just see now, I just cut that was about 4 minutes of just standing here just waiting for her to do her thing. But now she is on her cell phone, meaning she's about to go to a meeting, right? So I just need to wait for her to come up here. I do know this area is pretty isolated. I just need to close this door. And this area is isolated. I can go ahead and get her. I'm going to drop a coin here because that will sometimes distract people. If they see the coin, they will go to the coin and be like, oh, my lucky day, right? And I'm trying to get her close to the bin, but I don't think she's really going to go over there. So I'm just going to do a fiber wire kill, right? Stethoscope, got her. And no one saw that, so all I got to do is just drag her to the bin.
Return to the safe house. Collect your
She's in the bin. No one saw me. She is knocked out. Maintained Silent Assassin. She's done. I didn't have to shoot a gun, so I still maintained perfect shooter. No one saw me, so I did not blow my disguise. I have my oil canister. We're good. I'm gonna also just get that water canister that the guy was selling as well, because it might as well just go ahead and take both of them back, right? These are both items that I can go ahead and take back. Any item that has rarity on it, like common, epic, uncommon, legendary, you can bring those items back to your base. Anything that does not have rarity on it, you cannot use. So yeah, just doing my lap just to get back to the shop because, yeah, again, I want to get that oil canister. It's going to be a lot easier for me to just bring this back to base now. So I don't have to worry about doing this again later. I was going over here because, you know, I wanted to put the oil canister in this briefcase and I could bring the briefcase over. And that's because I forgot that when I go to the shop, when I get the water canister from her, from the shop, it's going to automatically put that in a briefcase. So I don't need 2 briefcases. Yeah, this game's a little weird. You can't carry 2 briefcases, but you can carry like the canister and a briefcase. It's a little weird how things work and like what you can carry in your left hand and your right hand, whatever. But yeah, that's the stage. That's the showdown. That's the boss stage. And so that's what we got for Freelancer today, right? We did all 3, done all of the objectives that I've had. Maintain Silent Assassin, you know, that's a showcase of skill.
Well done.
Again, this game is really hard. Again, I make it look easy, but it took a lot of practice to finally get here. So yeah, Syndicate defeated. This part of the campaign is now done. There are 4 parts to each campaign, but I'm only going to do the first part here. This does take a long time, and it takes a longer time on each part. There are more stages, more targets to take out on each stage, more suspects, you know, different variables, all sorts of stuff. It can take a long time, but you know, we were able to do this part here. Just wanted to do this showcase here, and yeah, you know, did all the objectives that we could see on each of these stages. That does level me up to level 76. I got grapes now that allows me to trip people the same way I could with a banana. Still maintain Silent Assassin, all sorts of fun stuff. I would definitely love to show some one-offs more of this game, because this game's an immersive sim, right? So that means you can tackle any problem in any sort of solution you can think of. All that's limited really is your creativity. And I love that sort of stuff. If you like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Dishonored, Deus Ex, it's the same type of game like that. When you beat a part of the campaign, you do get a free weapon here. Whatever is missing on your wall. Since I'm prestige, I'm missing everything basically. You get common, uncommon, epic, legendary, depending on when you're at in the campaign. If you've gotten every weapon, then you just get extra money. But yeah, gotta just get my weapons again now that I prestige, and I'm looking forward to that because that's a lot of fun. I love how this mode works. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and take care.